Hello, welcome to Snails and Fairy Dust. Today I wanted to show you how to weave square stitch. And so I've come up with this quick little project for you to follow along with so you have a sense of accomplishment while you're learning how to do something. And it should all be pretty easy. Let's take a look at our supplies. I am using size 10 Miyuki seed beads. Normally I use size 11. So this is a slightly larger seed bead. You can use regular round seed beads if that's what you have at home, but you do want to go for bigger ones. So if you could go with the size 10, you're going to be better off because it'll fit on the beading hoop. I have a size 12 beading needle. I have 6-pound weight fire line I'm using. And then I have these little beading hoops, which are 20 millimeters across that I bought from a local supply store here in England. Okay, so let's get started. So to begin, I have this other bead that I'm just going to use as a stopper bead. You could use any bead as a stopper bead. I'm using this big one so that it doesn't confuse you. But basically, we're just going to thread that on, loop your thread around, and come back through. So you're just making a loop on it so that it will stop your beads from falling off the end. Now, this should be loose, and you should be able to slide it back and forth on the thread. And you want to have a good 4-inch tail. And wrap that around your fingers, hold it in your hand, and then pick up 5 beads of your main color. And slide those down to the stopper bead. I like to wrap them around my finger like this. And then we're going to pick up our first bead of the second row. So I have my bead. I'm coming down through this 5th bead that I've added, and I'm coming towards myself. And I pull that, and then that will have the bead sitting on top of the other one like this. And then I'm going to come back through it away from myself. Like this. Okay, and now we're going to pick up our next bead and do the same thing. So go through the bead in the first row, the 4th bead in the first row, coming towards yourself. And then now you are going to go back through the new bead you've added, away from yourself. And there we have it. We're going to keep adding beads like this across the row. So pick up your next one, go through the next bead on the first row towards yourself. And then we're going to go through that new bead away from ourselves. There we go. You want to tighten these up in between because you don't want gaps in there. And let's do it again. Pick up our bead. I like to slide it over to myself. Come through the bead towards yourself. And then we're going to go back through the new bead away from ourselves. And you see the stitch works up differently than peyote stitch or brick stitch, other stitches that we've used before, because it really is more like a grid. The end product is very similar looking to a loom worked piece of beadwork. It does use a lot of thread, so keep that in mind because you end up passing through the beads a few times. Okay, so now we're going to build the next row. It's really simple. I feel like square stitch is definitely one of the easier stitches once you get the hang of it. So pick up another bead, and then this time we're working down towards ourselves. So we're going to pick it up and go away from ourselves. And then back down through the new bead. And then we pick up the next one. Again, this time we're going away from ourselves. And then down through this new bead. And basically the rows are going to keep working back and forth like this. So first you have a row coming down towards you, and then you have a row working away from yourself. And you're just going to go back and forth like this. You keep working. We're going to finish 3 rows of this main color, and then we're going to begin to add our design. So when you've finished adding your 3 rows. Come back here, and then we will add our design. So see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are. We've finished those 3 rows. We could get rid of this stopper bead now. I'm just going to pull that off. And we're going to start adding our design. So for this next row, we're going to add 2 of the main color. And then after that, we add 1 of the contrasting color. And we finish off this row with 2 more of the main color. For the next row, we are going to add 1 of the orange, our main color, whatever color you're using. And then we're going to add 3 of the contrasting colors, like so. And then we're going to finish off this row after the 3, finish it off with 1 of the main color. And you'll start to see your pattern emerge. Now what I'm going to do is leave this video running so you can follow along with the pattern. When you get to the end, meet me back here, and then I will show you how to weave in the ends of your thread and add the whole piece to the beading hoop. So you carry on, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are. We've finished our beading piece, and I'm just going to take the needle and weave it back into the piece. So you could go through a whole row of beads like this. I'm going to take the thread back into the piece a little bit, and then I'm just going to just weave it around some beads and go back and forth just to make sure it's nice and secure in there. I don't want to make a knot because with this stitch especially, it really will stand out. And I don't like making knots in my beadwork anyway, because I don't know, I feel like I could always see them. So we're just going to weave around a few beads here. If you've seen any of my other videos, we do this little neighboring where we weave around 2 neighbor beads to create tension. And then this one, I'm doing a lot here because these are really big beads, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't come unraveled. So I am definitely weaving more than I normally would just because I have a lot of space in between these beads. So when I'm done with that, I will clip this thread, and then I will do the same thing with the tail. I'll thread the tail onto a needle and then weave that tail thread into the piece. And then now we have this. Look at that. I hope you're proud of yourself. I really do love working this stitch. It's a bit time consuming, but it's a really beautiful stitch. So now I have my beading hoop here, and it slips right through the beads because they are larger beads. And so there we have it. We're going to grab a pair of pliers now, and I'm just going to bend this little hoop down. So first I take this part and make it flat. And then I take the other side and I'm just going to create a little 90-degree angle. So grab that, bend it up. And now you have this cute little beaded hoop. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I hope you like weaving square stitch. I have a couple of square stitch projects coming up that I'm really excited to share with you, but I wanted to make sure you had the basics first. So subscribe, come back. We're going to have a lot of fun with square stitch over the next few weeks. Okay, thanks. Bye.